Guys, this might be my favorite unit that we do this year. Today, and going into the next 3 weeks that we are going to be online, we are going to be starting a brand new unit on space exploration. See, I'm pumped about this one. Since I was a boy, this TV show introduction has been one of the favorite things that I've heard. It's like one of my favorite intros of all time. Check it out.
Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise.
Now, you can call me a geek if you want, but I have been fascinated by space my whole life. And when I say fascinated, trust me when I say I have been fascinated. Like in kindergarten, I can name all of the planets and all of their characteristics. I can remember countless summer nights staring up into the sky, counting satellites. I was obsessed with any type of science fiction. And you know what? You might not have been like me, but I think that everyone has those moments where we look into the sky and wonder, what's out there? Now, that introduction that I played you is from Star Trek The Next Generation, something my dad and I would watch every Thursday night growing up. And it starts off by saying this: space, the final frontier, meaning the last thing that humanity has to explore. Once we've discovered everything there is to discover on Earth, space is the obvious next step. See, I'm not the only one that's been fascinated by what's beyond our atmosphere. See, humanity has looked up to the stars for long before me, trying to figure out that question: where do we fit in the universe? Over the centuries, people have studied the stars and made discoveries, like Copernicus realizing that Earth wasn't the center of the universe, or that there was planets out there other than ours. Over centuries of watching and observing, we've learned about the universe around us, and we're starting to understand where we fit in. And over the course of these centuries, especially recently, we've used technology to see further and go farther than we ever have before. These technologies have allowed us to start answering the questions that humanity has asked for a long time. So, here is my question to you. What do you already know about space exploration? Your teacher has given you a sheet of paper or a Google document or a Google form. Here's what I want you to do. I'm going to set a timer in just a couple minutes. I want you to take that sheet of paper or Google Doc or Google Form, and I want you to take the next 5 minutes and jot down everything you know about the universe or everything you know about how we explore space. Doesn't have to be detailed. Just make notes. Make a list of everything that you've learned in the past. I'm going to set a timer now. So we're going to go here, and we are going to set a timer 5 minutes starting now.
Over your skin you can see it beat, intoxicating your energy. First time in so long you felt the heat, evaporating your bindings. Move like the sunlight, darkness can't hold you here. Bold and bright, push through the atmosphere. This is your dawn, this is your break. Move like the sunlight, darkness can't hold you here. Bold and bright, push through the atmosphere. This is your dawn, this is your break. Move like the sadness that cripples you. It comes in waves and out of the blue. But there are days you feel freedom too. Bask in the glorious lightning. Move like the sunlight, darkness can't hold you here. Bold and bright, push through the atmosphere. This is your dawn, this is your break. Move like the sunlight, darkness can't hold you here. Bold and bright, push through the atmosphere. This is your dawn, this is your break. Move like the move like the radiate, radiate, radiate. Gravitate, gravitate, gravitate. Innovate, innovate, innovate. Move like the love is just another way to die slowly. So slowly. I told you to leave back then, so you owe me. You owe me. There is nowhere to hide. This is not a safe place. There is nowhere to hide. I am not a safe place. 'Cause my love is a weapon of massive destruction. My love is a weapon.
All right, hit pause on that. You can add some more pieces a little later if you want, but we're going to keep moving here. I want to show you this while we talk about this next thing. There we go. Beautiful. So check this out. The reality is that we are barely scratching the surface of our exploration of the universe. Now, the universe is massive, like so big, it's hard to put it in a scale that we understand. We see pictures like this nebula, and it's so hard to comprehend that this is billions of light years away. See, here we are here. I'm going to play this little animation for you guys here. In this animation, we are a literal blip in the universe. Think about all the stars you can see in the night sky. Each one of those stars are millions, if not billions of miles away. They're so far away that the light we see takes so long to get there that the light we see is millions of years old. So think about this for a second. Every time we look up into the stars, we're looking into the past. Given the scale of the universe, we have way more questions than we have answers to. Way more questions. And here's the thing, with all the beauty and wonder of the universe, space is one of the most extreme environments known to man. Now, don't get me wrong, there are extreme environments here on Earth. The desert is incredibly hot and there's little to no water, or the bottom of the ocean where the pressure is crushing and there's no breathable air or minimal light. The universe and space makes those places almost look like vacation spots. See, the temperature in space is about -270 degrees Celsius. Or if we jump one planet over to Venus, the temperature can reach 470 degrees Celsius. There's no breathable air in space, or no air at all for that matter. And even if we put a human in space, we don't have an ozone layer to protect our astronauts from the radiation coming off of our sun. See, exploring the universe is an incredibly difficult thing to do. So here's the next question that I want you to answer. With all of the things that we don't know in the universe, what are some things that you wonder? What do you wonder about the scale of the universe, the things inside the universe? And what do you wonder about how we're going to explore it? We're going to take another 5 minutes, and on that same sheet of paper in the section where the wonder is, I want you to jot down a bunch of the things that you wonder. Let's check it out.
I'll take you higher, dark, hard, life. You should've known. I'd take you higher, take you higher. I'll take you higher, dark, hard, life. You should've known, you should've known. But it's too far gone. 'Cause my love is a weapon of massive destruction. My love is a weapon. Ooh, you better run. 'Cause my love is a weapon of massive destruction. Ooh, you better run. Better run, run, run. See me through, make it harder for me to resist. They say it can't be true. Me and you, from the moment we turn to our lips, won't you hear me say, I don't wanna turn the other way, 'cause I just can't get enough of you. I don't wanna be the one to say that I won't handle it. All of your heart is enough. I don't wanna turn the other way, 'cause I just can't get enough of your love. touch my emotions, they flicker and lit up the night. Feel alive, my eyes are on you, so come closer, you'll hear me say I don't wanna turn the other way, 'cause I just can't get enough of you. I don't wanna be the one to say that I won't handle it. All of your heart is enough. I don't wanna turn the
All right. So hopefully you were able to write down some things that you wonder about. Now, we'll come back to this document a little later. Let me just turn down the volume here. I'm feeding back. There we go. All right. Now, the question that I hope you're asking is, so why is this my favorite science unit in our Science 9 curriculum? Well, it's because we are living in the most exciting time in the history of space travel. Our grandparents were captivated when we sent people to space for the first time, and my parents watched humans land on the moon. Now, in our lifetime, we are going to see people back on the moon, and probably for the first time, we're going to see people on another planet. I think in your lifetime, you will see people colonize Mars. And it's not just the fact that we're going, it's how we're doing it. For the first time, we're seeing private companies like SpaceX, Boeing, and Virgin join in and help accelerate the process of humanity getting back into the stars. And that means the next few years are going to be incredible. I want to take a couple minutes and I want to show you this video from NASA. NASA is the National Aeronautics Space Administration, and while there's lots of different reasons to go and lots of different agendas to go to space, this is NASA's vision of what the next couple years are going to look like. Check it out.
50 years ago, we pioneered a path to the moon. The trail we blazed cut through the fictions of science and showed us all what was possible.
It's very pretty out here.
Today, our calling to explore is even greater. To go farther, we must be able to sustain missions of greater distance and duration. We must use the resources we find at our destinations. We must overcome radiation, isolation, gravity, and extreme environments like never before. These are the challenges we face to push the bounds of humanity. We're going to the moon to stay by 2024, and this is how.
This all starts with the ability to get larger, heavier payloads off planet and beyond Earth's gravity.
For this, we designed an entirely new rocket.
The Space Launch System. SLS will be the most powerful rocket ever developed.
And with components in production
and more in testing,
this system is capable of being the catalyst for deep space missions.
we need a capsule
that can support humans from launch
through deep space and return safely back to Earth.
For this, we've built Orion.
This is NASA's next-generation human space capsule.
Using data from lunar orbiters that continue to reveal the moon's hazards and resources,
we're currently developing an entirely new approach to landing and operating on the moon.
Using our commercial partners to deliver science instruments and robotics to the surface, we are paving the way for human missions in 2024.
Our charge is to go quickly and to stay, to press our collective efforts forward with a fervor that will see us return to the moon in a manner that is wholly different than 50 years ago.
We want lunar landers that are reusable,
that can land anywhere on the lunar surface.
The simplest way to do so is to give them a platform in orbit around the moon from which to transition.
An orbiting platform to host deep space experiments and be a waypoint for human capsules. We call this lunar outpost Gateway.
The beauty of the Gateway is that it can be moved between orbits.
It will balance between the Earth and Moon's gravity,
in a position that is ideal for launching even deeper space missions.
In 2009, we learned that the moon contains millions of tons of water ice.
This ice can be extracted and purified for water. It can be separated in oxygen for breathing or hydrogen for rocket fuel.
The moon is quite uniquely suited
to prepare us and propel us to Mars and beyond.
This is what we are building.
This is what we're training for.
This we can replicate throughout the solar system.
This is the next chapter of human space exploration.
Humans are the most fragile element of this entire endeavor, and yet we go for humanity. We go to the moon and on to Mars to seek knowledge and understanding and to share it with all. We go knowing our efforts will create opportunities that cannot be foreseen. We go because we are destined to explore and see it with our own eyes. We turn towards the moon now, not as a conclusion, but as preparation, as a checkpoint toward all that lies beyond. Our greatest adventures remain ahead of us. We are going.
We're going.
We are going.
We are going.
We're going.
And the reality is that this is just the tip of the iceberg, and we can't wait to explore it with you. Over the next 3 weeks, Mr. Poulsen, Ms. Wennekamp, Mr. Benavides, and myself are excited to explore the history of our reach to interspace, to explore how we're doing it, and to explore where we're going. Now, over the next 3 weeks, as you guys transition into online, we're going to be talking about, starting next week, the major objects in the universe and how we sort of give them addresses in our night sky so that we can point to them. In week 2, Mr. Poulsen and Ms. Wennekamp are going to help us explore the history of human exploration in the universe and how we use technology to get there. And then in week 3, we're going to talk about the pros and cons about going to space and give you a chance to explore some of the things you wonder. Now, each one of your teachers will talk about what that's going to look like for your individual classes. Now, I don't know if I've adequately communicated how excited I am for this unit, and even if you aren't as big of a geek as I am, I hope you feel a little bit of excitement too. I can't wait to explore this with you guys, and we will see you next week.